what's happening, guys? Welcome back to Sense of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance video. So today we're going to be talking about soapy fragrances. A lot of times I feature fougere fragrances on my channel, and many times they tend to go into a real soapy direction, soapy, green notes, etc. There are so many things I could have put in this video, so many fragrances. I picked 8 soapy fragrances. They're masculine, they're classic, they're available for the most part. And I wanted to share them with you guys today. So before we jump into this video, if it's your first time here and you enjoy the type of fragrance videos that I create, make sure to subscribe to support the channel. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. Again, we're very close to 10,000 and that's a huge milestone for me. And again, I can't thank you all enough who have supported the channel and watch, subscribe, etc. Make sure to check out my Instagram page, just Sense of South Jersey. There's photos of fragrances from my collection, daily scent of the day posts on the story. And of course, you can find out about news and updates on the channel, such as when the next video is going to drop. If you have a TikTok, check out my TikTok page. It's Sabro88. It's non-fragrance related though. And as I have been mentioning and will continue to mention, if you're interested in purchasing fragrances, rare, vintage, discontinued, or just fragrances in general, directly from my collection, things I'm no longer wearing. Again, I'd rather somebody else enjoy them than them just collecting dust in the closet here. But go ahead and check out my Mercari page because that's where I have them listed. I will put the link to that in the description and you can check it out there. Feel free to hit me up, make an offer, reach out to me, ask questions. You know, I always appreciate all of that. So let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at these 8 soapy classic masculine men's fragrances. Okay, so fragrance number 1 on the list. I don't think I featured this one on my channel yet. A lot of people have asked me about it, especially over the years. Why don't you have this one? You know, do you like it? And I've had it. I've had it for a long time, and I've kind of gone back and forth whether I like it, but I think I've sort of come around on it. And this is a small 1-ounce bottle of Bowling Green by Jeffrey Bean. So I have one of the 4-ounce bottles, but this is an older version. And, you know, it's an 80s fragrance. It came out in 1986, so the second half of the 80s. And, you know, I kind of have it in the air. And it's an aromatic, you know, woody fragrance. It's kind of like a fougere, you know, you have the lavender, you have the green mossy notes, you have the citrus. It's sort of a greener, brighter Drakkar Noir. I think it falls into line with that. Also, when it dries down, it sort of reminds me a little bit of Chanel Pour Monsieur Eau de Parfum. And whereas Drakkar Noir goes to the shave foam, deodorant spray, this, I think when it dries down, comes off as a citrus green soapy bar. That's what it reminds me of. And that's what I think I like it the best. And, you know, for a while I was back and forth if I thought it was good or not, but I kept it. I never got rid of it. I'm glad I still own it because it's definitely a nice soapy citrus, you know, green fragrance. Again, where Drakkar goes to that shave foam, smoother shave foam. This is just more of a soapier fragrance overall, but that's Bowling Green by Jeffrey Bean. Okay, the second fragrance on this list, this is from 1999. This is Fragrance of Ireland's Patrick. So I mentioned this for the first time on this channel recently in a Paco Rabanne Pour Homme family tree video, like what fragrances remind me of Paco Rabanne Pour Homme. And that one, Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, is very soapy, but I had just done a whole video about that, so I wanted to talk about something else. This one is like the much younger cousin to Paco Rabanne. Again, that one being a 70s fragrance, this being 1999. This is a much lighter version, less sharp, less herbal, and it's soapy right off the rip. Think about going directly into the soapy dry down of Paco Rabanne. That's pretty much what this is. Very nice, very light, great for work, great for just casual scent. It's just an amazingly clean scent, but still very masculine and very soapy. Okay, coming in at number 3, this is 1991. This is the very green, very rugged Duc de Revant L'Extrême. So as I've said before, it is like the jacked up niche version of Drakkar Noir. Very green, very rugged, harsher in the opening, but once it dries down, it's a very soapy, high-end men's bar of soap. That's what it reminds me of. It's a classy scent. Once you get past the opening, that's where the soapiness of this really comes out, really comes into play, which is the case for many fougères. You know, at the end of their second half of their fragrance life cycle, that's where the soapiness comes out. But it's very strong with this one because I think of the strong infusion of the mossy notes. And where you take the original one, that's a much more toned down, calmed down. This one really takes it up a notch with the soapiness. I'll never forget, I think it was Christmas 2019. I was wearing this heavily at a family party, and my sister just said, she looked at me and just goes, so soapy. And ever since then, I'm like, she's right. You know, a very soapy fragrance, but also one that I love. All right, fragrance number 4 on the list of soapy men's fragrances from 1974. This is Z14 by Halston. Look at this big freaking 8-ounce donut bottle. Weirdest presentation, weird bottles. I don't really get it. Doesn't matter. This is a intense blast of soap immediately. To me, this is the current version, by the way. The current version is what I'm talking about. It's like you're taking, shavings of brown soap from the 70s, mixing it with like a hint of cinnamon and spraying it all over the place. It's very soapy, very clean, very, out of the shower fresh, but soapiness, not like shower gel or citrus, just soapiness. So you might find it dry. It took me a little bit to warm up to this one. And many people say they get a big hint of cinnamon, like a big red chewing gum. I don't necessarily get that, but I do get a huge blast of that just dry soap, very clean. You know how like your skin is a little drier too when you use like an old-fashioned bar of soap, something like Irish Spring or maybe even the brown soap of the 70s. The brown just comes from the color from the box, but that's what it reminds me of. Extremely soapy from start to finish, but a great scent just for daily use, for work. Very clean, inoffensive. The current version performance is okay, but still smells really good. And if you get these huge bottles, which you can get for dirt cheap, they will last you and you can spray as much as you want. Okay, so this one, is from the 80s, obviously. It's from 1980. It's the original one-man show, the Chypre fragrance. This scent, and this is the bottle, my actually first bottle. A while back, I had a different bottle, and I had claimed that I had finished this one, and I inadvertently, mistakenly lied. I put this one away, and I couldn't find it until recently, but there's a little bit left. And, this one contains every note known to man. It's not even worth listing all the notes, but it's very heavy pine, tons of green notes, and there's a little bit of floral. So when it dries down, because the dry down is very strong, the opening is very strong. So the dry down is very soapy. You just want to make sure you go easy on the sprays with this one, because if you go super heavy, you're never going to make it out of the opening alive, and you won't really get to the soapiness of the dry down. But the dry down's where some of the florals come out, mixed in with those pine green notes. That's where I think it becomes soapy. And this one is a powerhouse. It performs too, so you just need a little bit. And I think to get to the soapiness of the fragrance, and I usually in the past haven't necessarily classified this one as soapy, but spraying it lightly, you get hints of soapiness, which I think go well with the opening that's very green and very harsh. But again, you just have to go easy on the sprays. This one, it hasn't really turned to that yellow. It's still sort of clear with like a hint of yellow, but the ones that have the more yellow coloring, they're going to be more soapy right from the opening. This one is a stronger pine note. I just think that happens over time. The other bottle that I have that's mostly full, that one's all yellow, and that one's like going right into the dry down. That one's very soapy right away. This particular bottle, again, has the strong pine opening too. So scent is very polarizing, but it's always been one I enjoyed. Okay, up next, fragrance number 6 from 1978, one of the OG barbershop fragrances. That's Izzaro's Pour Homme. So, this one has like the rugged predecessor to Rive Gauche feeling of it, because it has the lavender and it has the star anise here. I'll spray a little bit on my hand. I don't really have any specific fragrance on today yet. And that opening is distinct. It's very sharp, somewhat harsh, very hard for me to wrap my head around in the beginning when I was just getting into fougères. This one took me a while to come around on. And, it's definitely one that I grew to really enjoy, and it's awesome. But when it dries down, the anise is still there, but it's very, very soapy. And this is the newer version, which I actually think is a little bit more rugged than the vintage. I've done a comparison, and the vintage was almost lighter, much lighter, maybe even a little bit cleaner. This one is a little dirtier, a little bit more rugged, but it has such a soapy dry down that I love it. And, and then it's still mixed in with that anise, which I think gives it a lot of character. Great fragrance, one of the classics. Not my all-time favorite fougere by any means, but one that I still really appreciate and have grown to really enjoy. And you can't go wrong. They still make it. I would say go out and get a big bottle of it. It's still inexpensive, and it's absolutely the best from the house for sure. Okay, almost at the end of the list here. Fragrance number 7, the Italian fragrance from Gianmarco Venturi. This is Gianmarco Venturi Uomo. Sorry there, guys. It's going to give you a little bit of a reflection. This is harder to find, newer to my collection. I did a first impressions video, so if you want to check that out, and as I've been wearing it, I'll spray some on the other hand here. It's an instantaneous blast of green, slightly spicy, but very soapy Italian bar soap. Soap. That's what this stuff is to me. Reminded me of another fragrance that's going to be coming up next. This one is just a greener, waxier. It's a little dry, but it's masculine. It smells very nice. Great daily scent. A lot of these are perfect for that, for just, I would say, consistent wear. Many of them are inexpensive. In fact, most of them are, now that I think about it. Maybe this one, you would want to wear a little bit more sparingly because it's getting harder to find, a little bit more expensive. But this stuff is just hard to find in the United States. In Europe, it's extremely easy to get, very inexpensive, but very soapy, very green, very classy, masculine. But it just, again, soap is what I got instantly, and that's why it carries on the whole time. Just a very clean scent. Again, clean, fresher. These are the words that describe these fragrances. Okay, the final fragrance number 8 on this list. Guys, a while back I did a fragrance video about soapy fragrances. It was called Soap Club, like the Fight Club. I was holding the bar of soap. And the fragrance I'm about to talk about was the #1 fragrance. And I can't really make a soapy fragrance list video without talking about this one. 1989 from the house of Alfred Sung. This is Sung Om. Again, a liquid Irish spring that has changed the color from that mint light green to the purple people eater color. You spray this one on instantaneously. You just get soap immediately. However, it has every single note in the book, but it's just really, I think, a plain soapy scent. Hints of spice, hints of green, but it's soapy through and through, very clean, almost like a soapy dryer sheet scent. I think this stuff is awesome. It's an aromatic fougere, very strong, long-lasting, lasts on clothes. The newer version, the one that doesn't have, because this one has the built-in atomizer sprayer, which I think looks cooler. The newer version, the liquid's a little bit more blue, but that one I think is even soapier. Doesn't matter which one you get, they're both great. And for the, I think however much that one costs, between 15 and 20 bucks, just get that one. I just happened to buy this one a while ago. And these are not expensive either, but extremely soapy, classy, masculine, awesome scent, great pricing too. Okay, let's do a quick bonus edition here. Number 9, didn't anticipate this one, but it's Elite by Floris. It's the slight ruggedness of polo green mixed in with the soapy fresh cleanness of Koros, but when it dries down after the rugged green notes go away, it smells very soapy, very clean, but very high end, very just extremely elite style soap. This is an amazing scent. Love this one. So happy to have it. Did a full review on this one, as I have done with several of these if you want to check them out, but this one very recently. So if you want a high end smelling green soap, awesome scent, check out this one by Floris of London. All right, guys, that was my video of, well, 9 soapy classic men's fragrances. Let me know in the comment section, what are your favorite soapy classic masculine scents? Did you agree with my picks? Would you have put some other ones in there? I know there's so many different fragrances that are soapy fougères that I could have put in this list, but wanted to talk about these today. Please let me know in the comment section. I appreciate all the interaction. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. Check out the Instagram page, the TikTok, and definitely check out the Mercari page. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.